this is the day. This is the day that it's all been for, you know. This is where we either get hailed as heroes or made to look complete fools. The day you show what you've done in public is the day you get decided whether you're a genius or an idiot. There's a fine line, isn't there?
Here we go! Go on!
Cycle enthusiasts James Tully and Michael Thompson have been great friends for over 20 years. While watching the Tour of Britain race by Michael's house in September of 2010, Michael, a joiner by trade, made a small wager with James. That, in the heat of the moment, seemed perfectly sensible.
I kind of mentioned once to James that I thought that I could build a 100% wooden bicycle. To which he laughed and he said, if you build it, I'll ride it. The trouble is, it might catch fire.
What?
The bargain is that if I build it, he will ride it. But he won't catch me on it. No way.
Go on, Bradley! Go on! Where's we go? There he is.
And as the pack whizzed by at incredible speed, their odd ambition really started to grow.
I thought that if we're going to build one, then we may as well do a land speed record and prove it on a worldwide level. And so no one's ever set a land speed record for a 100% wooden bicycle. So it's about time. James, as an athlete, he's not actually naturally athletic, although he does compete in triathlons. James is a particularly bad swimmer, an even worse runner, but get him on the bike, he's a very, very powerful cyclist.
Michael, known as Tomo to his friends, has a bias for the unusual. So, having already turned an old Morris Minor into a chicken house and built himself what he calls the eco-shed from rammed earth, he gets to work.
Everything I've ever seen him do with a bit of wood has been perfection. Whether you'll make a wooden bike that can be ridden very fast, I don't think anyone will know that until the day that we try and ride it.
I've built boats, I've built furniture, I've built kitchens, but never anything quite so complex as this. And I haven't actually got a mechanical engineering background whatsoever.
This is what I ride currently. Well, why don't you borrow it for a while, get some measurements of it, and then I'll come back and...
Well, you better do some training in the meantime, haven't you?
I had. See you soon.
See you later.
Cheerio.
Chew.
With no engineering background and only James's road bike as a starting point, Michael is somewhat, let's say, unaware of the technical challenges ahead.
The whole thing's experimental. I mean, there is no website to go to or book to borrow from the library. No one has really documented ever doing this. I want to include some kind of flexible seat in case any of the cogs fly off and towards his testiculars. So obviously it will need to be shaped to the contours of a traditional seat to stop the cutting of the inner thighs, but there's a fair bit of flexibility in that. I'd be facing the other way actually in reality, wouldn't I? I'd be this way round. That's more like it. Over the bumps. I reckon that's going to work nicely. And of course we've got to work out how we're going to deliver some power to that back wheel. That's going to be pretty tricky. A bicycle has a front sprocket where the pedals are and a rear sprocket and where the back wheel is. And ordinarily you'd put a chain around those two to create drive for the bike. So what I've decided to do is something that's never been done before, ever. We're going to change cycling history by replacing the chain with what I call the ply cog. The downside for James is going to be really close to his Caracas. If he was a shorter man, he wouldn't be much of a man at all after being on this thing. I haven't got another idea. If that doesn't work, the whole project won't work.
So, with the designs done and all his tools ready, it's time for Michael to put his woodworking skills into action.
I'm trying to stay removed from the production line and let Tomo get on with it, and because otherwise I'll go in and I'll put my two pence in about what I need as a cyclist, and that might compromise some of the things that Tomo wants to achieve as far as it being a perfectly formed wooden bike. I see my role as simply doing my best with the bike and trying not to put any excess pressure on any of the difficult components like the saddle and the pedals. Probably the handlebars will come off my hand as well, but there we are.
3 weeks later, and it's time for James to see if Michael has produced the goods.
This is the first time it's ever been put together. This has been 3 weeks to get to this point. A lot of design work, a lot of testing, prototyping, a lot of templates. This is the fruit of our labour.
All of a sudden the reality is coming home to roost for me, that instead of just going, yeah, all right, Tomo, make a wooden bike, I'll jump on it for 20 minutes, that'll be a laugh. It's now like, we need to work out how I'm going to be attached to it, how I'm going to, ride it and actually get it moving at a suitable speed. Can't wait to get around there, really.
This is the front sprocket where the pedal will be attached to once I've calculated how to make a pedal. This is the rear wheel with a small cog on the other side of this connected to the other end of this massive ply cog. The idea being is when you turn the pedals, the back wheel should turn. And it does! Brilliant. You just won't want to get anything caught up in it. This is actually very exciting.
Ah, you in?
Come in.
Oh, lovely. You got a bike?
Nearly.
Let's have a butcher's.
Oh, hang on a minute, I'll bring it out.
All right.
Stand back.
Stand well back. Oh, God.
I made a bike out of wood.
Oh, my God! What?
What do you reckon?
Oh my good God. Well, yeah, be fine. Cut the middle out, put some tyres on it, and away you go. The plums are going to be.
Your plums are going to be here. Try it off this wall here. It should feel like putting on an old pair of slippers.
Oh.
He should be able to just jump on it and ride it without too much complaint. I don't think he'll have a problem with the actual riding position of the bike.
Yeah. Oi! Did you see what happened with his hand then?
Well, yeah, I'm just checking
That
the plumage.
Plumage.
So, what do you think about that?
Well, I just think that there's a foot between my foot and the ground.
We're going to set out for skis on here. I don't
think you got much room for skis.
There will be, because there'll be a plate on there.
No, you got absolutely no control. You can't get off. You're a foot off the ground. So you can't just put your foot down. You can't even lean over and put your foot down. You can only crash.
Yeah, all right, but go down on the bars. Crashing is obviously the biggest danger, but it's fairly common for land speed record attempts to involve some kind of incident or another.
Oh, Jesus. Can you not make it less of a mantelpiece?
What dawned on him at that moment was the fact that he was actually now going to have to ride the Splinter, whereas up to that point there was a possibility that I might not even have got anywhere with it at all. I think he was kind of hoping I was going to fail my side of the deal, and but that isn't ever going to happen.
I've got a vested interest in not breaking any speed record at all, barely going over 5 miles an hour. Because if I go sort of over 10, I could well come out the other side as just a piece of MDF.
So far, so good then for Michael's concept vehicle. But as every Boy Scout knows, if you rub wood together fast enough, it makes fire. It's time for some serious thinking about how on earth he'll overcome the rather trickier engineering hurdle of lubricating axles and bearings. Turning to every joiner's Bible, the trusted Book of Wood, Michael is really hoping he'll find an alternative to running alongside the bike with a fire extinguisher at the ready.
This is amazing stuff. They even use this material here, which is called Eki, on the Paris metro system for their trains to run along. It's incredibly hard wearing. Brain surgeons have to be within 1/100th of a millimetre in their work. But as a general rule for woodworkers, we always have to be spot on. So it's got to be right, it's got to be exact. Otherwise the thing's going to shake to pieces.
Some exotic hardwoods do have amazing metallic properties, but are now becoming increasingly harder to source. Michael is really hoping that his local sawmill will have a particularly oily answer to his problem.
Lignum vitae. Naturally oily timber, used in the boat industries for putting steel prop shafts through wooden boats. Hopefully it's going to solve our problems, or perceived problems anyway, of the hubs and bearings for the actual wheel axles. Give us a smooth rotation, and hopefully minimal friction. But I've never used this wood before, so I really have no idea what's going to happen.
A few days later, Michael has precision cut his lignum vitae bearings and recessed them into the front forks of the bike. Hoping that his spot-on measurements were correct, he gets ready to test the new parts.
So let's see what happens. It's free spinning, that's good.
Success! Still a bit of friction going on, but hopefully nothing that will catch fire.
It's never going to be as good as, you know, metal bearings, ball bearings rolling around, but it's as close as I think we can get with the budget we've got anyway.
Six weeks on, with the assembly of all the wooden components complete, and as Norfolk slips into the grip of an icy winter, James and Michael prepare to welcome a speed record VIP to the Eco Shed.
We've got Malcolm Pitwood on board from the Speed Record Club, and he's very enthusiastic. He's just recently set the world's fastest electric milk float land speed record just the other day, and he's working hard to take back from the Americans the world land speed record for the ride-on lawnmower. So what do you think?
She looks nothing like I thought it would look, that's for certain.
Do you want to take a look inside the top secret mechanism?
If I may, thank you.
Because we're setting the record for the first time ever, we can make our own rules up. But those rules will be the rules that others will have to adhere to try and beat our record. This is what we call the ply cog. The rules that we've set with regard to the construction of the SplinterBike is we're allowed to use wood and glues, but no bolts or screws.
Morning, Ty.
Oh, here he is.
How are you?
People who are talking about record breaking I like to meet.
Pleased to meet you.
What I heard sounded credible, that there was somebody who was willing to do
Sorting
something.
us out on the power supply for the bike.
We've got the bike, therefore Michael has performed and created something. James as the power unit is yet to be seen, and clearly that is an all-important part of the record-breaking attempt. That's the interesting part, is whether you can function as a power unit, the steering mechanism, and a pilot or controller of the whole device.
Fat controller.
Jude, stop ruining it. It was all going well there. Pilot, controller.
And nice to meet the power unit. Always good to meet
Nice to meet
the
you
person
too.
who's going to ride it. Thank you ever so much.
Cheers
guys.
again. Thanks.
Cheerio.
Buoyed by getting Malcolm's seal of approval and a promise of support for their record attempt, the lads are now keen to give Michael's creation its first test on James's rather ambitiously titled Turbo Trainer.
Oh, it's come out of the doings.
And a chance to discuss the bike's potential speed capabilities.
20 what?
Come on.
Out.
37.6.
7.6. Hoopla! Come along, everyone. Push. In other words. Oh yeah.
Once you've got it going, it's
I can see this working.
like a steam train. Use that as a steam. Don't.
Where's the pedal?
There, but don't put too much weight on it. You're not on the seat.
Don't worry about that.
You take the strain.
It's like riding a wardrobe up the road.
Come on, get your foot on it. Hang on a minute, we might have a clearance issue here. No, you're all right.
Right, well, this is where I want to be anyway. Would you just hold the bike, Tomo, rather than...
I've got the bike.
Oh, I think I've broke the dowel.
Where? Have you? Already?
Well, that.
Oh, you've knackered it already.
All right, take it back to MFI.
Get off. Get
Hang
off
on, let
and
me
then-
just let you know that the saddle
Yes.
is not in the right place.
Oh, you've broken it.
So I think that might be the issue. And that could be the back end of my ball sack.
It's... Well, I wouldn't lift it by that part, James, because you've stepped off. Leave it alone.
I want to have a little feel of it as a
No.
riding machine because I think it's got legs. I want to become at one with it. Look, it does. It needs freedom.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Don't have bickering. Right, are you going to whip it up and?
Yeah, I'm gonna
What are you going to do about that?
leave that on there.
Okay, that's going to.
Oh, God.
I wanted that. That's my memento.
Undeterred by a somewhat less than successful first mechanical test, Michael soon replaces the broken parts and gets cracking on some of the finer details, like the all-important livery. After some very long days and nights, 8 weeks later, he's ready to reveal his creation to the world.
It's good to get photos at this stage before anybody rides it, because once that goes down, that is never going to look like this again.
With the SplinterBike looking so pristine, the concern that James might crash it is ever present. Thankfully, one of the project's supporters has loaned them his fixed wheel bike, which should give James a very close simulation of the SplinterBike gearing.
James? Ah,
Hello.
early birthday present.
Oh my goodness. Oh, another bike.
One for your
Wow.
collection. What do you think? It's a
Fantastic.
fixed wheel, okay? So this is exactly like how the SplinterBike's going to be. There's no
Good.
freewheeling, you know?
Good.
Whether you
None
go,
at all. Not even when you're...
No, either way it turns, so it's fixed.
So you can't free...
Can't coast.
It's going to be tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a track wheel on the back and a road wheel on the front,
And to slow up on this bike, you've got the advantage of a brake.
which I don't have on the SplinterBike.
No. Park it up. Let's have a look at some stuff I've got to show you inside, James, which you might not have seen yet.
Okie dokie. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I saw that.
I got that. Somebody gave it me yesterday. I didn't even know it was in the paper until they brought it round for my birthday.
That was on every single bin outside every single newsagent's in Norfolk
Unbelievable.
on Thursday. This is the Guardian online bike blog. Well, look, it's been tweeted 215 times. It had 1,624 shares on Facebook. That went mental. If you read the comments,
It went
half of them are mental.
Chicken Oriental. Now, there is a much more a sense of, I want to achieve the very, very best I possibly can because everybody is watching that.
The world is watching.
Yeah.
But the most exciting bit of news is what's going to happen to the bike after we finish with it. Because, you know, I was thinking about maybe finding somewhere to put it rather than having it in my kitchen forever or in your garage.
Well, there's always 5th of November.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put a guy on the top
You're
of
going
it.
to be Guy, that's the thing. But anyway, the V&A Museum have asked if they can have it from
The V&A?
Yeah, from September through to February.
February next year.
September 11, February 12, and then it tours around the UK after that point with the V&A in an exhibition called The Power of Making.
Wow.
But I haven't got back to them yet. But I think it might
Well,
be...
I suggest you do.
Well, yeah, but that means that we have to get their record done and dusted before
We'll get
September.
it done by September.
So are you ready for testing, trialling?
Yeah.
I'm worried if you drop it down the road and scrape half of it off, what it's going to look like.
Well,
You know, I'm worried about having to
how much are the
rebuild
V&A
it.
giving you for...
Nothing.
Oh, well, there you are. You'll have to...
It's for the country, isn't it? It's for the country to come and see.
Our gift to the country.
Yes, it is.
The idea began when Thompson was challenged by a cycling enthusiast friend to build a wooden bike while watching the Tour of Britain last year. Made from a mix of
Following the Guardian's online article, Michael and James find themselves in a global media storm. It seems everybody wants to know about their rather unorthodox challenge.
So tell us about your bike.
This is the first time anybody has been brave enough to build a 100% wooden bicycle and try and set a land speed record at the same time. We've been on the BBC World website in the Weird and Wonderful section. I bet Beyonce's now looking at her ad thinking, crikey, look at that bike. Loads of cycling magazines are after me to find out how we're going to make it work, what the secret mechanism is that's going to power this bike. And it's been like a media circus at times, I must admit.
How would the bike stop? Wood brakes on a wood tire rim equals fire.
At one point, I couldn't do anything on the project because I was just being constantly telephoned and hounded by the media. So maybe I shouldn't have told so many people that I was doing it before I'd actually built it and tested it. But anyway, this is real-time world record breaking, you know.
This man's going to be picking splinters out of his ass for the next 20 years.
As the unintentional hype snowballs, the bike has yet to be ridden. So at 5:30 a.m. on a deserted and newly tarmacked car park a short walk from Michael's home, they prepare for the first ride.
Once I've had a chance out of the media glare to actually attempt to ride the bike, I'll be a lot more ready mentally for the challenge ahead. I'll then know how I'm going to interact with that piece of equipment, because that's where it's all going to stand or fail by, whether I can make that piece of equipment move or not.
Don't freak out if the pedals break. Right?
I won't.
I'm expecting.
With his cycle shoes specially adapted by Michael, James soon realises this isn't going to be straightforward.
Just to warn you, these went a little bit loose the other day and I had to re-glue them up, all right? Okay.
Settling into position, with a deep breath and his buttocks clenched, James is off.
That wind.
After a rather tentative first run, they turn the bike around for run number 2.
I want to know what it does. I've got to learn what it does.
With his confidence in the strength of the bike beneath him building, James feels it might be time to try out the pedals that he broke the last time he pushed on them. Oh dear, it seems like they've broken again.
Well, okay.
It hasn't fallen off, but you just can't,
It's gone.
can't put no pressure on it.
Which side? That one? Yeah, it's gone. All right, well, that'll do then, I think, because I don't want to do any more damage to it.
And so it dawns that the strength of the pedals made entirely from wood are going to be a real key factor. It's back to the workshop for Michael and the broken bike.
Well, it's great that we tested it, and it's great that we had problems, you know. Maybe if we didn't have any problems, I'd be worried. But we've had problems, 2 problems. When I started to wheel the bike away from the test area, the back wheel did suddenly stop turning. So I just reversed it back a bit, and it went okay then. So I guess some bit of grit got in there and I managed to just roll it out. But I mean, if he'd have been riding it, the wheel would have locked up, it would have flattened one of the wheels off. So I've decided, even though it adds weight, to put this grit guard in. Because the last thing James wants is for it to suddenly stop turning and the back wheel to lock up.
About 4 or 5 mil underneath the saddle are the 2 cogs that drive the back wheel. It's not about friction, it's simply about, am I going to get everything caught? And I've got 2 wonderful children, and hopefully my wife and I are happy with that, because I think that's going to be it after the bike ride.
These are the Olympic pedals, whereas these are now referred to as the leisure pedals. Not very satisfactory. It was always going to be our Achilles heel, really, the pedal assembly and the bottom bracket in general. But despite adding even more weight, I'm pretty sure that he isn't going to be able to break these.
With the new and improved Olympic pedals in place, it's another early dawn test for both man and machine. And with their museum deadline approaching, this could well be their last opportunity to get it right.
It's completely not warmed up. Thank you. Right, go on then. Right, let go.
He's away. This time it's looking good. With better footwear for the job, James at last gets the chance to put some torque into that all-wooden drive mechanism.
I can't see James having a problem getting well over
5 or 6 miles an hour.
20 or 25 miles an hour easily on it. I could do that.
No, we're currently going at about 10.
Yes.
And you're expecting to not only double that, but to perhaps double it and then add another 5 miles an hour. I mean, try and manage your expectations.
I am expecting it to go.
There's more, but those you can't put any more power into those pedals to make it go faster.
You will do on a smoother surface.
Do you think so?
Yes.
Although a good result, there is a small issue with a wobbly pedal arm that will mean more hours on Michael's workshop bench. And this raises some concerns for James.
If I kick it down the road like a motherfucker,
Yeah. Well, you can't hit.
it's gonna break.
Yeah, I know.
No, but if I do that anywhere,
Yeah,
if
well, I
do
don't
that
mind
in
if
Mr. Smooth place.
All we got to do is come the glorious day. All we need to do is do slow speed, build it up, set a record at 5 mile an hour, set a record at 10 mile an hour,
Yeah.
15, 20, and then once we get over 25, just go for it and see what we can get out of it.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not just the bike that has to be ready for the challenge. James also has to be mentally 100% ready in order to set a world record.
Going at 25 on it is going to be one hell of a feeling. And the not being able to stop feeling, when you can banish it from your mind, it's all right, and then suddenly it pops back in. Well, you can't stop.
It's going to make you feel alive, James.
It's going to feel scary.
That's why people
under
do
my
it.
arse. Yes.
6 weeks later, and with just 8 days to go before the record attempt, and 11 days before the Victoria and Albert Museum are due to collect the bike. The clock is ticking for Michael to make any final fixes necessary to guarantee that they succeed in setting a new official land speed record for a 100% wooden bicycle. But, in true Tomo fashion, something else has been going on.
Pedals, pedal arms, pedal supports. I've decided to build another splinter bike because the last thing we need is for SplinterBike 1 to completely fail in the first 10 minutes. There's suddenly a lot of people coming to see this, and I don't want to let them down really. But also another reason is we're going to have only a couple of days after the land speed record attempt to repair the bike if necessary and hand it over to the Victoria and Albert Museum people. But we'll push this one as hard as we can to get a record on this, and then once that's established and logged with the Speed Record Club, then immediately we'll hopefully jump on this bike and try and beat that record, or at least try and match it or something. So another bike. The main improvements are the bottom bracket. This is the thing that is our Achilles heel on SplinterBike 1. This is much more substantial. So if it all goes wrong on that bike, then we've got this bike. But I've only got 8 days to build this, and I still haven't cut the frame out yet. And this is, even though I've got all the templates and everything, this bike is still going to take me 250 hours to do. So the first one was 1,000 with all the prototyping and designing. But even with all that behind you, there's a very time-consuming build. It's all down to this sucker. Even if we don't succeed, then hopefully everybody will enjoy the spectacular explosion of all the gears and James's shorts getting ripped off by a great big wooden cog. Might be to the amusement of the crowd.
With only 3 hours sleep, Michael is up and preparing both bikes for the 150-mile trip to the Velodrome in Scunthorpe. As the names of the project supporters go on the side of the bikes, 20 miles away, James is preparing himself for the big day ahead. Just time for an athlete's breakfast and a quick check for any last-minute changes of plan from Michael. Of course, with the amount of work that's gone into getting to this day, Michael is extremely careful with the packing of the two bikes. The last thing he needs at the other end is to unload a shattered pile of plywood. Not quite so worried about the bikes he's taking, James is almost ready for the off.
I'm sure James is very excited because hopefully, if everything goes as we want it to go, he's going to go in the history books, which is, you know, it's kind of every sportsman's dream, I guess. It's been an amazing journey because if you consider that a flippant comment during a bike race and a £1 bet is going to turn into a museum piece via a land speed record. So no one could have predicted any of that would occur. You couldn't write it, could you? So the SplinterBike 2 was only finished last night, and James hasn't even seen it. I've changed a few positions on the bike, mainly the position of the handlebars and the aero bars, and also the seat position, but only by 2 or 3 millimeters. So hopefully he won't notice that. But he's going to complain and gripe about the handlebars being lower. But I think it's designed for a more aerodynamic ride. Yeah, much more pointy downy at the fronty. That's how we like it. Well, James has gone ahead. He's an hour ahead of us because he's never ridden on a velodrome before. But one thing did occur to me about 3 o'clock this morning. A velodrome's got corners on it, and we've never taken the SplinterBike around a corner. It can be a bit like riding the wall of death.
So, with James acquainting himself with the feel of a fixed-wheel bike on a banked circuit, Michael arrives. And once his makeshift workshop is set up, they unpack the bikes, keeping one eye firmly fixed on the weather. As onlookers arrive and Michael assembles the star attractions, James gets warmed up on the wall of death. The sense of occasion builds as Malcolm and his timing boffins get set.
We're timing the bicycle over a 50-metre speed trap. We have photo cells at the start and finish of each of the traps, and they're connected to these little boxes at the top, which then feed the signals to the clocks. And then it's simply a matter of calculating and working out the speed that it equates to. As far as his chances are concerned, I'm no expert, but I think he started with the wrong material for a bicycle.
Having never been to a velodrome before, it appears Michael is starting to have concerns of his own.
When the bike's going to be riding on the velodrome, it's going to excessively wear one side of the wheel. So initially, we're going to set a time on this flat area, and then once we've got all that bagged in, then we will give it a blast around the velodrome. I think we can get some decent speed out of this surface here, definitely.
Running it on the straight will mean less time for James to pedal the bike up to speed, and will rely more on a short, powerful effort. Not ideal at all for wooden components, but the rubber surface will be much kinder on the wheel rims, not to mention James's nether regions.
Don't touch the bike, only touch me.
Are you going to be able to pick that pedal up though?
Yeah.
As soon as you're ready.
Ready?
And here we go.
Is he on?
Don't worry about that.
Go! There we go. There we go.
I can feel the cogs against my old fella.
It just looks so painfully slow. It's still... Oh, no,
Wait, don't hold the handlebars, that only me.
I think we should have put a brake on it. I'm happy to trash that bike today, going as fast as we like, because there's a big black cloud up there, and we need to set something early, just in case we don't get the chance for the rest of the afternoon. We've got to go, we've done another one. You ready to catch?
That's good, keep going.
With the bike performing well, James gives it a bit more on the return run. It's only the average speed between the two directions that will count.
Okay, clear.
Velodrome time. I'm going too fast.
Can you go around the corner? Go around the corner. Keep going round. Keep going. Keep going. We are setting time now. We're getting numbers in that computer, which means we are actually setting land speed records. And yeah, it's great. I don't know what the numbers are, but I don't care. At the moment, I don't care. If we can get into double figures at the moment, I'll be happy.
Got slippage.
Oh dear. Have they got carried away in the excitement? Trying to do corners for the first time ever?
There's a damaged one.
Ah, there we are.
It's chipped a tooth here.
Ah, and that would have been the frictional sound as well.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
When? When I got to here?
No, just before you reached the beam.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Let's just.
I was too busy feeling like a world record holder. There's more in it, I can feel it.
With only 127 teeth left on one ply cog, but determined to improve on their previous runs,
Ready.
James gets set.
Push me as far as you can. Keep pushing.
I think part of it just fell off. I'll have to glue it back on.
It's not a good run. At the other end of the track, their supporter Richard takes a close look at what's going on with the drive mechanism.
It's jumping.
The cogs have chewed through each other. It's just annoying, the transmission is splintering. If you'll excuse the expression.
They'll have to call it a day if the threatened rain starts to fall, so the pressure is really on to fix the problem as quickly as possible. A wheel is borrowed from the other bike to put them back on track.
I've changed the rear wheel. This rear wheel is in the easier gear to pedal, yeah, by 20%, right? But it doesn't fit on the bike very well. And there's quite a lot of movement here, right? Worst case scenario, it'll lock up, and so the rear wheel will just lock up.
Blimey.
If I tell you to stop, just
Have we
stop.
got Robin and Rich, yeah? We've got Malcolm,
we're ready.
lovely. Let's get 30k out of this.
Have you got your pedal set?
I have, yeah. Right, push me.
Just go gentle with it.
So with loose main drive cogs and Michael's instructions to go gentle with it, they're up and running again.
No, it's skipping. Leave it then, leave it,
To no avail.
leave it.
The ill-fitting replacement gear lets
Put a
them
different wheel
down.
in.
There may now be only one option left.
We need SplinterBike 1.
But will Michael surrender his desire to keep it pristine for the V&A?
I felt we weren't getting the transmission that I wanted out of SplinterBike 2. Get me the real one.
You want to go on this one?
SplinterBike 1, I never had any issues with that when we tested it. So I had a look at it and I was like, well, we've got the cogs that we need on SplinterBike 1. Let's use SplinterBike 1. Let's not worry about the V&A right now. We can send SplinterBike 2 to them. Let's get the land speed record. So we had a little sort of tete-a-tete and sorted it out. But I was just a bit frustrated for a while that we were mucking about with SplinterBike 2 and SplinterBike 1 could well set the world record.
Basic cog transplant.
Michael relents. And thankfully the rain is holding off. But that's not their only problem. They could only afford the venue for 4 hours, so with the clock ticking and James taking a well-earned fuel stop, Michael has to get SplinterBike 1 ready for its debut. Wheels and cogs get swapped about to ensure there might be one left undamaged after today. And it's down to Michael's skills again to get them back out on the track for another run.
Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready. Ready when you are.
Go.
Watch that bottom bracket. Gentle on that bottom bracket, James. Be gentle on that bracket.
I ain't
Just bend it from here.
Remembering that wobbly pedal arm after the second test, Michael looks down the track, very concerned for the bike.
That's the pedal.
Cock.
The disappointment on James's face says it all. SplinterBike 1 is kaput.
Fucking left-hand pedal is fucked again.
Is the drive okay, isn't it?
Yeah, perfect.
As a concerned group gathers round, Michael assesses the situation.
I think realistically it's, I think we have to consider that.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Can you put them on SplinterBike too?
No.
Man, you've got it right. You've just got it right on 2 different bikes.
No. This is where SplinterBike 3 comes in. But quick to the back cave.
No. Can I push on this until it breaks?
Not this bike, no.
Yeah, but the other one has got no transmission, so it's unrideable.
Michael has to decide, should they continue and risk even more damage?
I might be able to pop that out. Let's go and try and pop that out.
What, pop that?
The gear out.
Will you put the gear on SplinterBike 2? That's
Yeah.
your winning formula. Right, try that, and then we're going to do it.
A last-ditch plan swings into action. Michael is going to have to break some components out of one bike to see if they will fit in the other and still work.
Right, Tomo, come ahead.
But not before James reveals his secret weapon.
The record is quite complete without the loan from my good friends at Norwich Bike Clubs
You can have your eye out with that.
of a rather special...
Oh, you put it that way round?
Yes, do you not? It's Woody the Woodpecker's helmet.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, wow.
I think we're ready to rock and roll.
So while James tests the speed advantages of wearing a comedy helmet, Michael has one last go at making a wooden bike capable of setting a new land speed record.
If this feels good, you may as well get out of that seat and jump on them pedals, you know? Yeah? I want your foot located on the correct side of that pedal. Right. And on the way back. Yeah? Just sit on there and we'll put your feet on the pedals with the pedals in the right direction.
Right, let's do it.
Hold that pedal for me, Trev. Ready? Go! You ready, Trev? Go, push.
Push, push, push!
With his new shiny helmet and great gusto, James sets off and through the first timing gate.
Come on!
That's shot now. There's nothing left on it.
After 1,000 hours of toil and 3,000 miles of training, they are almost out of time and completely out of working gears. So it just remains for them to wait for the calculations to be done and Malcolm to announce their official time.
Within the constraints of the track, he travelled through the time distance in both directions, so taking away any of the wind effect. And according to our timekeeper, that's a speed of 11.25 miles an hour.
Cheers. And they said it couldn't be done.
They said it can be done.
And it very nearly did
Very
it.
hard to do so.
That's
Excellent.
great.
11.25. Said over 10 mile an hour.
Yeah, double figures, good. Double figures are good. I think triple figures would have been harder to
More.
get to.
More's in it. More is in it. And we'll get it out another day.
I think we know how to do it, but
Yeah, I'll tell you how to do it. It's quite a simple chain and cog mechanism. Been used for many years since medieval times.
A few days later, James and Michael make the trip to London to attend the private viewing of the Power of Making exhibition. They have an official land speed record, but more than that, they have their friendship. And I have a funny feeling they'll be back to try again.
I didn't dream that the bike would be rideable. I didn't dream that I'd be at a velodrome riding it, and I didn't dream that so many people would pay attention and get involved. I didn't dream any of that, to be honest. Right, here you go. £1.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
An excellent design feature. Stroke floor.